Hey guys, so today I'm actually talking to you from my home office because I'm too lazy to go to my car and I fixed up my office and I'm happy about it. So, the topic of conversation is it possible to fall in love within 6 months of dating someone? Now, I'll tell you a little bit of back history as to why this question came about. So, it was decided to put it, I decided to put it upon here to make a video about it last night when I was talking to my homegirl and I was expressing to her what occurred on Sunday. And the conversation was so good between me and her. It was just like, no, like you should really put this out there. I was like, hey, let's do it. So what happened Sunday? So Sunday I met up with my ex, same ex that I've been just like, ugh. And we hung out and we talked, chopped it up. He saw the kids, of course, and while they were eating some ice cream, he took them out of ice cream. While they were eating, we talked. And I expressed to him the hurt that I felt and, the betrayal that I felt seeing him with the other woman and how that didn't really hurt seeing him with another woman as the fact that as much as the fact that I asked him about her and I even gave him a way out so many times to walk away from the relationship. Do you want to be friends? Like, and he said no. And just knowing that he used God as a reason for why we weren't doing things. Not that I wanted, a lot of things, but some things I did. Like, he in kissing and stuff. He said he was such a deep kisser and he knows that kissing will lead to sex. And he's trying to stay away from that, right? He's trying to help me to be the Christian that I need to be and also help himself to be the Christian he's desiring to be. So when I saw him snuggling on her, kissing all on her, it was kind of like, yo, bro, what happened to God at that moment? So, we did speak. And one of the things he said was a reason for his retracting and going backwards was he just can't understand how I could say I love him within 6 months. Now, I had to pause him there because I asked him a very valuable question. So the fact that we've been together 6 months and you have expressed and even echoed that same love that I said I had for you, was that a false? Was this a lie? And then he asked me, well, do I feel like he was a wolf in sheep clothing? I was like, I wouldn't. It's a very strong terminology. I wouldn't even say that. But the fact is, you did say that you love me. And so then he patronized me by going, well, there's two different types of love. There is love, and then there is, I have love for you. I have love for you. It's like, one, that's not what you told me. And if you had shown me in any way, shape, or form that you didn't feel the same way for me, that you just cared about me like as a person, then I would have never continued this relationship. Because honestly, if I'm not giving 6 months to a person to not show me any affection, and if all of this, you not kissing me, you not touching me, and all of this is not even happening, then the only thing that was really keeping me there is the fact that I thought we cared about each other, that we loved each other, and that's why we're trying to do the right thing by each other by not having sex before marriage. So if I had in a second felt like there was nothing there, that you just cared about me as a friend, then I would have definitely walked away, because then I would have definitely been like, no, this dude is cheating. He don't got no feelings for me. Like, come on. But anyway, let me just break this down. My opinion, you don't have to agree with it. Like I said, there is one definition of love. Love is love. There might be different levels, different depth of your love, but there's only one love. So to say like I just cared about you as a person, that's not the same thing as saying I love you. Looking in my eyes and telling me you love me, making marital plans, coming to the store with me to measure your ring finger, knowing that I wanted us to get married, that's not the same thing that you're trying to express to me now, that you're retracting and saying. And telling me that you don't see how. Now, I read something a while back, and the person said something that always stuck with me. Two things. First, there was just this woman basically that was just basically giving her experiences to love at first sight. It was actually a response to a question just as similar. Can you fall in love within 6 months? And I think it was on Quora. And one of the things she said was, if you do not believe in the possibility, you've already ruined your chances of basically experiencing that. So basically, she didn't say it in that exact terminology, but basically it was like, if you already feel that there is no possibility, then you've already ruined the chances for yourself, right? And which is true. If you see a person that says, I'm gonna just use this, and it doesn't even have to be, you can use whatever. examples, but I'm gonna use whatever just came to my mind. A person that doesn't believe in God, right? They can see the stars, they can see the moon align, but because they already have that, I don't believe in God, no matter what they see, they're it's gonna block it's they're blocked from any other possibilities because the only possibility they feel it has to be something else. You understand? So if you already saying in your head you could never fall in love at first sight, you could be slapped in the face with love and you still won't believe it. You'll probably even clarify it as infatuation because I don't believe in love at first sight. This could never happen. So if you already ruled the possibility out, then you've already ruined the chances of ever experiencing that for yourself. Now, another quote, actually from a person that a lot of people know, respect, Bob Marley. Bob Marley said, "It is." I want to read it from exactly how he quoted because I just feel like it is such an important quote. The biggest coward is a man who awakens a woman's love with no intention of loving her. Notice he didn't say a man who puts love in you with no intentions of loving you back because love is already in you. Love is already in us. This is in our DNA. It's like a child that has a parent, whether or not he's the father, the mother's a part of their life. The DNA runs through that child's blood. Like love is in us. Bible said we first love because God loved us. Love is a part of our DNA. So this is something that's already inside. Now it's awakened. It's grown. It is deepened, intensified by interactions, right? How we interact with each other, things you say, things you do. And of course, the Bible says love is not prideful, love does not boast, love does not get puffed up, love does not look out for its own interest. Love is, love never fails. So if you think about love, right, it's not something that is just like, and this is why also too, people don't get to choose who they love. Like, so you ever seen sometimes people say, I wish I didn't love you. Because love is not something that you could just choose. It's something that is inside of you, but it sparks. Something sparks the flame of love, whether it's a person, what the person says, whether it's what the person do, whether it's how the person conduct themselves. For me, I love intelligence, right? I love intelligence. So when I see a guy with intelligence, I already have an attraction for you because it's like, okay, you're smart. I like that. Right? Now, here it is, meet this guy, 6'2". First of all, I've never dated anybody 6'2". I've never even seen a man 6'2". So it was like, hey, right? A matter of fact, I knew that there was something special about him because there were things on him that I usually never liked, but I liked it on him. Like I don't like the beard, the whole Rick Ross beard thing that people do. I don't like it. I feel like not everybody can pull that off. Rick Ross could pull that off. He's fine, but not everybody could pull that off. Some of them look like they just have a freaking unshaved, uncombed rug on their chin. Well, when I saw him, there's just something about how he shaped his face. And he has these little buck tooth right here, and I just love it. When he smiles, he just looks like the most adorablest thing. And I know you can't love somebody based on adorbs, but the fact is that was what attracted me, right? I'm gonna say this: he's not a light guy. He's a little heavy set, and I've never dated somebody that's really heavier, really, than me. Except my ex, one of my exes, my first ex-husband, and he was more muscles than anything else. He literally was muscles. He's sprawled like his heck, and he had just gotten out of prison, so he don't got nothing but muscles. But besides him, and he was like my height, like nobody big and stuff. But there was something about him. On him, those were the most attractive thing. Another thing, chest hair. Oh my god, I used to hate chest hair because I'm like, ew, you sweat, you gross, you. Ugh. On him, I loved it. So I knew there was something different about him. And that's what love is. You don't know what it is that draws you to this person. It's just, but you know there's something different. You know there's something about this person that was not on the next person. Now there are times where you start with the love, right? And even though you still have the love, you know you need to step back because the person that you thought this person was isn't. And now in order to protect your heart and yourself, you have to take your love and go, right? But that doesn't mean that your love wasn't real just because you fell in love with the wrong person. We can't choose who we love, right? It's an emotion. It's sparked by something. Here's what I calculate, and I could be wrong. When we have a desire, a liking for anything, what's the first thing it starts with? what we see, our eyes, what we hear, what we see, what we read, whatever, right? There's a situation of a lady who mentioned that her person was 1,400 miles away. She'd never seen him, never even spoken to him physically, but they texted each other. And through text, she loved him instantly. She was like, I loved him through text, never even met him. A few weeks after we started talking and we finally met up, like we got married and they've been married 4 years now, right? And she can tell you right now, to her, they have the best love possible, right? And then you have people who's been together for like 10 years who haven't married, haven't really fully reached the love yet, and they're like, listen, I gotta step back because this is not progressing. Love is something that does not go on your timeline, and it sometimes choose people for you. It's based on that feeling, right? That action, that emotion, something that sparked. You don't have a time frame. Somebody could take 6 years to fall in love. Someone could take a year. Someone could take the love at first sight. Someone could take 6 months. But it's not for you to question whether or not a person's love is real just because it doesn't work in your time frame. Now, what I would say is this, because when he was like, why, how could you? How could I not? And I said that to him. How could I not? Here it is. I spoke to you openly and honestly about my past, about my trials, about my desires and my future goals and my future plan. And I was honest with him. I put all my eggs in a basket, so to speak, because I wanted him to know that dating for me at 35 is, are we going to do this shit or not? You understand? At 34, because that's when we started. But are we doing it or not? Because I ain't got time to waste. I got better things to do. I'm a mother of three. Like, if we're not going to do this in seriously, I'm not trying to canoodle and I'm not trying to have sex and I'm not trying to do all of that. I want a life partner. And I was honest with him. So if you knew from that moment when I was expressive and truthful that that's not what you want, then you should have run out of the door. But I said, why not? Here it was. I expressed all of these things and you were on board, even expressing the same sentiments. He wanted the same things. As a matter of fact, it was so much, we were so much in tune that we called each other twins. And I've said this so many times in my other podcasts. Like, he literally called me his twin. And at one point, and many times actually, he even said that he felt like I was his second chance, right? That God was giving him a second chance because I was so similar to his past relationships, same amount of kids around the same age, but things went wrong in the relationship. And here it is, he has a chance to do it right, right? So once again started with that, just seeing him. I mean, in fact, this dude used to come put his foot up like boom on the highest thing. I'm 5'4", maybe 5'3.5", and about 140, 1 foot 155. I'm not gonna about 155, maybe 160 now because I've been putting on some pandemic weight. But I can't even do that. So here's this big giant guy, a little bit of pudge here, I mean, not the skinniest person, and he could do all of that. All of that was just like so attractive to me. But we're talking. We go to the gyms together now. We're exercising. We talk. I thought freely and honestly and just straight up and open. We come back. Sometimes we parking outside because I didn't want him in my house at the time. I didn't really don't want him around the kids. We'll be out here in the car. We're parked up. We go out on dates. Like, he's showing me his neighborhood where he grew up, where he used to live. He's talking to me about things. We're sharing things. We going hiking with the children. We went on vacation together. We're making plans. He's giving me his goals. And in fact, when he spoke on things like his, friend's relationship that was failing, he spoke with conviction as if he was hurt and affected, and how he feels like if we did this, we spoke about God and about how the serious the times in, and maybe people aren't even really understanding what this means. And like, these are all things that I expressed. These are all things he spoke about, his desire to please God, which is why he wanted to wait till marriage. Here it is, a man. He want to wait till marriage. And not only that, he's showing it because I was at the gym with the tightest tights. Not sometimes, no, I'm not going to lie. It was intentional. Sometimes I wear the shortest shorts. I ain't going to lie. Because I wanted to know why you don't want to look at me. But he held up to his bargain. Like, we literally went on vacation, spent the same night in the same hotel. He jumped on one twin bed and sent me to the other twin bed. Nothing was done. So here it is. You want marriage, you want God, you want a family, you want a future. We went to the lake even, many times, but this particular time in question, there was a family on the lake with their children, and they're in the boat. They do little jet skiing or whatever it is, and he just stood there and he was just like, "That's what I want, like a family, you know." And here I am with my four kids offering it up. I was like, "I know, babe, you know," and I know we're not the perfect family, and I know these children aren't yours, but at least we're a substitute, you know. This is we're a family, and he's agreeing like this is what he wanted, and to the point where even like when the relationship started to be strained, I kept asking him and giving him a way out. Do you want to be friends? Do you want to be friends? Do you want to step back? And he's like, no. Why do you keep saying that? Why do you keep saying that? I want to be here, and I care. I love you. I care about you. And making plans, like I said, went to Walmart, even measured his ring finger on our on my vacation on my birthday. Like, we give each every month, we acknowledge our month anniversary, and either we do something. Initially in the beginning, I made him a cup, and like stuff like that. And I had flowers, like just things that was happening. These are all things that's making that all, since my love is already awakened, it's strengthening, right? We're sharing the same things, we share the same goals, the same value. We talked about school, we both wanted to go to school. You understand? Like, how can I not? How can I not? Forget the fact that I was raped. Forget the fact that I've been cheated on. Any woman who is looking for love and a future would be like, this is something that I want. You're talking about all these things, and especially to be throwing God in a mix, like you're trying to search for God. Who doesn't want that? Especially if you've been raised in a spiritual household. So I said to him, like, don't patronize me as if the love that you were expressing to me is this different type of love, because the love you were expressing to me, it may not be as strong as mine was for you, because you're not me and I'm not you. But that wasn't what you're saying now. Like, I care for you. That wasn't it. But back to my question, is it possible to fall in love within the 6 months time period? I say yes. I say yes because one, love is something that can hit you at any given moment. It can hit you within the first time of you laying eyes on the person. Like I said, it could be something about that person that you feel is different. It can be weeks into it. You can be months into it. It can be years into it. Some people even lose their love because they don't realize it's love. And then when they sit a future time in their life, they're like, yo, this girl or this guy really loved me because he did this or he did that. But sometimes we're so blinded we can't see love. Understand? Because it could be because of what we've been through. It could be because we don't really know what love is. It could be because we don't know how to accept the love. And it could be that we ourselves don't even know how to give the love. But that doesn't mean it changes the definition of love, because love is love. So can we fall in love at first sight? Yes. Can we fall in love within 6 months? Yes. It takes 6 months to make or break a habit. If you are a crackhead, if you are a drug addict, if you are an alcoholic, you take these programs, they have these 6 months timeline. It takes 6 months to make or break a habit. Now, just because you broke the habit within 6 months doesn't mean it stops. Like, oh, I'm done, I'm done. No, of course it's something that you continue to work on, to grow. That's love. You can fall in love at any time. It's not something that you just fall in love today and it's like, it's done. No, you got to do everything to stay in the love. Love is not prideful. Love does not boast. Love does not get puffed up. It does not seek its own interest. It's not selfish. It's not, like, love never fails. Love covers a multitude of sins. So when you harp on that love and you grow in that love, then that's how you will want to work out your relationship. That's how you want to work out your marriage. That's how you will want to not cheat, because, hey, I love this person. How could I cheat on her? I love this person. How can I leave them? So when you really build on the love, because it already awoken, it's already intensifying. Now you need to blow great, like work on it. Like they said, I planted, Apollos watered, God kept making it grow. We need to keep watering that love. It's already planted. Keep watering that love and allow God to make it grow. Pray together. Go to church. Go to. For me, I don't call my religion church or whatever, but serve God together. Read the Bible together. Say your prayers together. Like, this is how you continue to make it grow, because it's already planted. It's planted. My love for him was planted the day I met him. Because when I saw him, it was just something different about him that was not about anybody else. I wanted to find out why everything on this guy attracted me to him when it was everything I was against. You understand? Do rag wearing. I stopped liking do rag wearing guys since I was like 20 something years old and got married to one. So there was something about him that sparked in me the minute I saw him. that kept intensifying with the things that he perceived, that I perceived based on his actions, the things he said. So in a sense, like this, I told him, like, honestly, that's your fault why I love you. So don't ask me now. Don't take steps back. And because you're taking backward steps, I should just pretend now, go ahead and question myself. No, I was here based on you, based on what you told me, what you saw me, what you portrayed. And so therefore, my love was awakened by you. Now, if you had no intentions of loving me back, that's on you. You got to deal with you. You understand? God see and God knows. But I did not just jump here. So the fact that he tells his ex that I'm crazy because I love him in 6 months, but not telling his ex that he's crazy for making me love him in 6 months and then taking it back, that's up to you. But like I said, if you've already had the desire within yourself that it ain't possible, that it ain't gonna work, that you could not possibly love me within 6 months, then you already ruined that possibility for yourself. You understand? And and that's, to me, that's what he did. So I try to always think about other people and put myself in another person's shoes and their perspective. Here's a man, and I tried to put myself in his shoes last night when I was talking about it and expressing these things to my friend. Here's a man that's been in a relationship 7 years. From what he said, I don't know any of his relationships. I can only go on what he said, but 7 years for one that I know of, and then maybe three, anywhere from 3 to 5 years for the next one. And that's just some of his relationships. I'm only going to speak on those because those are the ones that came up a lot in topic in conversations. Now, none of those relationships he was ever married, so there was no deep commitment. You understand? Because that's what marriage is. Yes, you don't need to be married to, well, biblically speaking, you do. If you want to talk about what the right way to do things is, you should be married, and things should be done within the confines of marriage. But right now, how people generalize things, people don't feel the need to be married. So say this to say, marriage is a piece of paper in a sense. That is the public way of saying this is my spouse. But to me, your devotion and commitment to each other starts within your heart and within that conversation to each other. I view marriage the same way I view baptism. Their baptism is the public declaration for people to know this is what I'm choosing. This is my path, right? But you've already made a commitment to God in your heart. Listen, God, I want to serve you. Please help me. And I'm going to, and then you already made that commitment. To me, that's how I view marriage. So I don't need to be your wife for you to be faithful and honest and open and loving towards me, and vice versa. But if you've already put it in your mind that something's not going to happen, it ain't going to happen. Even if it happens, you may not even know that it's happening because you've already read the thought of the possibility in your mind. So he's telling me, how can you love me? I'm telling him, how can you not? There is a possibility that you can love somebody and when you meet them, and there's a possibility that 6 months later you can fall in love. There's a relationship time frame that they use. It takes 6 months, or like I said, it takes 6 months to make a break a habit. Within the halfway point of the year, within the 6 month point, it's always recommended to stop and evaluate your relationship. Do you and this person have love for each other, or do you feel like the relationship is not going to go anywhere? Because what you don't want to do is sit there a whole year with somebody that's not progressing, right? Within the 6 month mark, they call that the mid season or something like that, or whatever. But within the 6 month mark, you should know if the person, some people, men already know from their first conversation with you whether they want to smash, whether you might be wifey, whatever may be the case. So if you have 6 months within that person, you know whether or not you're progressing with that person or if you're running the other way. So don't act like 6 months has no bear, it's not even a good time frame. You can literally make or break your whole life within 6 months. You can make or break your whole life within 1 minute. One decision in 1 second, a split second, can ruin your whole life or better it. So I say this to say love has no timeline. Love does not wait for you. You understand? And that's why you hear a lot of time people will say, I don't even know why I love you. I don't even know why I still love you. One, love is also something that just doesn't disappear. It might weaken, it might lessen based on your reaction. So if you've been in love with somebody, like now, I see some of my exes that I've been in, and I still care deeply for them. Now, I mean, I'd be in love with them. I love them. It's not that strong or whatever, but I care about them as a person. Even though we're not together, I care about you because I would like, yeah, we had a history. Like there was a time where we were together, we kissed, and if something happens to you, I will feel hurt. Like it would bother my con. Like, oh my God. Now, is it going to bother me like the way my man who I love will bother me? Maybe not, because I just care about you. You understand, as a person, but I don't love you. You understand? But if it's a person that you've loved, love doesn't just die like that. It lessens because you're not acting on the love. So it's not like growing into a deep, intense love. But when you love something, you love something. I love dogs. To this day, I still love dogs. You understand? But there's a difference between also love and infatuation. I do know that. Infatuation is mostly selfish, though. Oh, it's centered around you. I want you for me because I want this for me. I don't even care that you don't, that you're a horrible person. I don't even care. I just want you to be able to take care of me. I want you to come in my life and make it better. I want you to come in here and make sure that I'm not struggling as a person. Like it's selfish. But infatuation is just that, oh, I just want to have sex. Why can't you have sex with me? I don't care about why you don't want to have sex. Let's just have sex. Like love, like infatuation is selfish. But when it's love, it's not selfish. You think about that person. I think about that man sometimes more than I think about myself. I think about how I can help him get out of this funk, how I can help him to progress in his desire to own his own business, how I can help him to progress in his search for God. I think about him all the time. I think about if he's eating. I think about if he's sleeping. I think about if he's still drinking. I think about all of that. You understand? And not in the sense that I've neglected me for him. I think about me and all and everything including me. But my point is this. And don't patronize people with that you can't fall in love at first sight. And that's your belief. That's your idea. But love has one definition, maybe different depth of it, but one definition. Love is love, hate is hate. You understand? I hate Brussels sprouts. I also hate beets. But I'll eat beets because I know it's healthy. I know Brussels sprouts are supposed to be healthy, but it's nasty and bitter. I hate Brussels sprouts. You would not catch me. That's a strong hate for Brussels sprouts. But I also hate beets. Does it mean that I don't hate beets because I hate Brussels sprouts more? In a stronger way? No, is I still hate beets. So just because I may have a stronger love for you doesn't mean that the love that you said for you understand doesn't mean that if you love me lesser in a lesser way that's not love. Like I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but anyway, that's my thoughts on that. Like I said, I did some research. I thought about him. I put myself in his perspective, in his shoes, and so many people, on the web, the psychologists, therapists, whatever, it's possible to fall in love. As a matter of fact, within the 6 months mark, you should be reevaluating your relationship to see if there is any love there and growing. And if not, then you need to decide whether or not you want to continue further into a year of wasting your time, or if you want to, continue with, or you want to walk away. Anyway, that's my opinion. That's my perception on that. Let me know what you think. Is it really possible to love somebody or within the first 6 months of you dating?